Hello and welcome. This is Bill Pomares from bandsolution.net. The purpose of this video is to give a solid browse through my book entitled 16 Grooves for Concert Band, Book 1. This book offers 16 short, sequential, rock and Latin grooves for use in concert band, written in quartet format. So I was dreaming one day and thought to myself, what if there were a bunch of easy-ish tunes that correlated with my instructional sequence that were rock tunes, that also enforced the concepts that I was teaching, and gave all the students the chance to play the melody, the bass line, and a harmony part or a counter melody, and has a drum set part. So I decided to develop a group of short arrangements for young concert band that give the kids at each level a chance to rock out. I teach at a 5 through 8 middle school, so there isn't a ton of music that is cool sounding, short, and accessible, given what the kids can play on their instruments, especially using limited instrumentation. In order to use this book, you will have to teach your students to read 4-part staff systems. The A part is the melody part. The B part is the harmony part or counter melody. The C part is the bass line with chord changes. And the DS part is the drum set part. The topics that are covered in this book are as follows. All songs are in 4/4 time. The keys in this book are concert B flat, concert E flat, and there's one song in concert F. The rhythm concepts covered in this book are eighth notes, dotted quarter eighth note combinations, eighth rests, and tied eighth rhythms. The idea of this book is not to have a bunch of tunes that are super challenging. The idea is to have a bunch of tunes that reinforce learned concepts in a fun way and that focus on rhythmic precision, locking in the groove with the other musicians in the group. This book is organized by rhythm. Every effort has been made to make the exercises as sequential and accessible as possible, keeping in mind instrument ranges and technical development of beginning and intermediate students. The concepts in this book correlate to the learning sequence in my Essential Studies for Concert Band series of books and are designed for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year band students, although they can be enjoyed by older students as well. The songs get progressively more difficult as you go through the book, ideally giving practice and reinforcement of concepts that are covered in the student's lesson book in a sequential fashion. You don't have to play every single groove in this book to reap its benefits. Choose songs that pertain to the concepts that you'd like to reinforce, or the ones that you think your band will enjoy the most. There are several songs that address the same concept, so pick the ones that work best for your situation. You might even decide that this book would work well for your pep band, as the songs are short. You could even do certain sections of certain songs to get the crowd going. Some other features of the book. The level of difficulty is about the same for each part within a song. If the concept that is being reinforced is eighth notes, all of the parts have conspicuous use of eighth note patterns. This way, no matter what part the student plays during practice or playthroughs, they get a lot of touch time with that concept. The level of difficulty of each tune increases as you go from beginning to the end of the book. The sections of music, that is like the intro, the A section or B section, or the bridge or the coda, etc., have a number in a box. If the director wants to repeat a section or be clear about where the DS goes back to or where the band is at a particular time, all he has to do is hold up a finger or fingers to indicate what section is being played or is going to be being played next. This also enables the director to extend the song if necessary on the fly, going back to certain sections if you need to lengthen the song, or skip certain sections of the song if you need to in order to shorten it or for other reasons. The chord changes are notated in the C part of the quartet so keyboard players or guitar players can play along. This is a great bridge for those players who want to level up to jazz band. The chords are transposed for each instrument part, so transposing instruments can start to understand how melodies relate to the chords, and advanced students can experiment with writing out their own melodies, harmonies, counter melodies, and practice improvisation using this information. Articulations become an important factor in establishing the groove for each tune. A fair amount of time will likely be spent on not what to play, but how to play it. Refer to the articulation summary on page 2 of the book. I recommend prepping the grooves by reminding students to check the key, scan for roadmap items such as repeats, endings, DS or DC, the coda, and also accidentals. You might wish to do some rhythmic review before trying to play through them, especially if the concepts are new to your band. The book is transposed for the instruments that you see here: flute, clarinet, alto bari sax, and tenor sax, trumpet, trombone, and tuba. I personally conduct from the percussion book when I use this with the band, but you can use any book to conduct, as all the parts are in every book. The table of contents with keys, rhythms, and concepts is posted on my website on the 16 Grooves page. You can download that file and print it if you wish to follow along here so you can see how the book is laid out. So, let's take a look. We've got the table of contents. There's an articulation summary. There's basically an introduction which reiterates what I've said here so far. And each of the grooves. You can see how there are box numbers in different places. This way the director only has to hold up a 1, a 2, or a 3 for this particular groove to cue in the band to let them know where they're playing. Specifically, like if there's a repeat sign here that would send the band back to 1. If you don't think they're going to catch it, you can hold up the 1 again as a reminder, and oh yeah, box 1. And the same is true for each of the songs. They've all got the box 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it goes up to 5 is the longest song. This one has eighth notes mostly. Quarter notes and eighth notes. Dotted quarter eighth note. More dotted quarter eighth note, but this time in the middle of the measure instead of starting the measure like Howling Lulu. Sedimentary is a rock song that introduces the eighth rest. Drummers also get to yell and click their sticks for their head like a metal band. Calypso Cove, a Latin kind of a song. Upbeat inversion, more eighth rest kind of grooves. Each of these are little snippets or mini grooves worked in here. You can loop them a number of times if you wish. This last section is play 4 times. This is the first, second, and third ending. And they would go on to the fourth ending to end his tune. Metamorphic, another rock song. This one gives opportunity for drummers to do little solos, especially here. This section is played 4 times. And each time you can have a different drummer take a solo, or play the same thing, or however you want to do it. More eighth rests and different combinations. The DS would send you back to box 2, so you could hold up 2 fingers and cue everybody in that way. And then when it's time for them to take the coda, you just hold up 5 fingers. There's box 5. Dorian Rock uses tied eighths as the rhythmic concept that's being reinforced. A lot of method books don't have that as a thing necessarily, where tied eighths come up, but it's all over the band literature. Hip Hooray, More tied rhythms, this time with dotted quarter eighth. Optional drum solo measures here. Spring Foliage is a medium bossa, so if your drummers have never played a bossa before, this is their chance. It uses 2/3 clave on the snare drum. And Rhythmic Notation, where they can just play, whatever drums they want to, but it's got to be in this rhythm. In particular, in order to make the note lengths match, you might have to mention that this note here, or all these notes really, should be on drums as opposed to cymbals. Don't play on cymbals because it'll ring, and that'll destroy the note length across the ensemble. This one, the form is a little bit wonky. You go all the way down to here, and then back to box 2. Take the repeat after the DS, and then when you hit the second ending, that's the ending. Fine. Latin Conversation, groove number 14. Medium salsa with 2/3 clave in the snare drum. Lots of eighth rests for the band to wrangle with. And the form is interesting on this one too. You play all the way to the end. DS, affine, back to here. Hit the second ending, hit the second ending, and then fine is right there. Groove number 15, Moe's Mode, another rock song. This one has eighth rests and tied eighth rhythms. There's some space in here for drummers to play solos if you wish. You don't have to do it that way. It's worth noting that when you play through the main melody section of box 2, it goes clear to here. Second time through, you jump from measure 16 to measure 18. This is the ending measure. You would only play this the very last time through. Okay, so you play all the way through this, DS, and then you would finally play this measure to end the song. Last tune in the book, As Your Acolyte, is another rock song. This one has conspicuous use of chromatics, so it gives you the chance to flex those chromatic muscles. This is also blues, so if you want to, you can have an optional solo from different players in your band, or you can just have it be a drum solo, or you can just have them play the groove, or however you want to do it. And ending is at the end there. Ta-da! Okay, and that's the book. If you like what you see here and you think you can use this to some advantage with the bands that you have at your school, you can download order forms from my website, bandsolution.net, and order a set using the purchase order, or you can have your school district pay for them using a credit card through PayPal using the links provided on the site. Best of luck to you in developing a band that rocks at your school. Thanks for checking this out, and good luck.